like a dowel, maybe a broomstick or a cane. I've seen people use umbrellas and things as well. So if you have something like that that can just space your hands apart, that's a little more solid, that works just fine. Yeah, perfect. A pool noodle, I like it. All right, good. I also will be using a physio band for a portion of class and a weight. If you only have one of these two things, that's okay. We're going to be doing perfect. Yes. We're going to be doing the exercises with one, and then with the other is a bit of a comparative today. So you can always just do the exercise again, using whatever you have on hand. So physio band and one weight. The weight can be something like a water bottle as well. It doesn't have to be an actual made for fitness weight. All right. So we are going to get started just in a comfortable seat, as we always do. You're welcome to have your eyes closed for a moment and just do a little bit of a body check-in. I know in lots of parts of the country, it's been quite warm. So part of your body check-in will be hydration. So remind yourself to stop and have a drink anytime you need to. And also just energy levels and temperature regulation. So if you have a condition that where you struggle with temperature regulation, make sure you're checking in with yourself and that you're working at a level that's comfortable for you today, taking breaks anytime you need to. And yeah, just keep drinking that water as well. I'll give you a few cues for water breaks today. So as your eyes are closed and we're thinking about all those different things, you can start to draw your attention to the length of your spine. And we'll start to take every breath in, drawing the crown of your head a little closer to the ceiling, lengthening out through your spine, and a breath out to hold that length as you exhale. So a few times there. Nice even breaths in and out. Good, we'll do two more there. And one. Great, and you can keep your eyes closed as we turn our attention to our core if you like, for some belly breathing. So that's a breath in, filling up your belly like a balloon, a breath out, using your belly button to squeeze towards your backbone, squeezing out all your air on that exhale. So breath in, extending like a balloon through the belly, breath out, squeezing your belly button to backbone. Good, two more like that. And one. All right, we'll take our eyes to open now as we start to add a little bit of movement through our head and neck. We'll start with some small neck circles in one direction. Still maintaining that length through your spine. So you can kind of draw your crown of your head up towards the ceiling and think about that as what is drawing some imaginary lines, projecting them up onto the ceiling. Back the other direction. Good, and then you go back the first way again. We'll do two per side where you're going in a bigger circle. And back the other way. Last one here. All right, from here we'll go shoulders up by your ears where we don't want them for class today, tracking down your back where we do for a little hold. Shoulders up, shoulders down. Maybe you can feel the extra snugness of shoulder blades down, how that feels, extra power, so that when we use our arms, we can do so with a better setup. So shoulders set into position as those shoulder blades slide down. We'll do two more there. And one. Good, let's take our hands down to our side. We're going to continue with that similar motion, but we'll add a little bit more movement to it now. So we're going to go, shoulders are back and up. So we're squeezing shoulder blades together and up, and then down again. So we're doing a little bit of like a half snow angel now. Arms come up as your shoulder blades squeeze up and back, and return to your sides as they release. Good. Trying to keep our head in a nice neutral position so our chin isn't coming forward as we're doing this. We still have that long spine. Good. We'll do 2 more here. And 1. All right. So from now on, those shoulders are going to stay back and down for the rest of class. So we will keep them in a more set position, even as we do some overhead work, which we're going to start now. So reaching up and over, we'll alternate sides to start with, one side and then the other, just in a kind of a half rainbow move. Good. We'll do 1 more each side here. And then we're going to stay on one side and add a bit of a side flex. So one hand is free to hold on to your chair base or arm of your chair if you need some extra stability as we not only reach up and over, but also side flex towards that side. And let's make this an active pull down as well. So let's reach up and then grab on to an imaginary thing above your head and pull it down, activating through lats and obliques on that side. Last one here. Good, and then we'll do the same on the other side, stabilizing as you need to with that free hand as you start to side flex. Reaching up and over with a really active grab and pull to bring your arm down to your side. Good. We'll do 2 more here. And 1. Excellent. We're going to change this to a little bit of rotation and do some crossbody work in just a moment. So let's set our shoulders nice and square to start with. Before we start the rotation, we're going to kind of slice hands across body while our shoulders are set. So we're getting a little bit of a chest squeeze here, warming up through chest and front shoulder muscles. Last one each way. All right, let's stay on one side and add a little bit of rotation as we do this now. So you're slicing your hand across and following with rotation through that side. Hips are staying fairly evenly weighted on your seats. So trying to keep the rotation as being through your spine as opposed to your hips lifting to help with it. Good. 1 more on this side. Let's do the same on the other, crossbody with a bit of a rotation as we slice. Good. 2 more. And 1. All right. Give me a slow backstroke here. We're going to finish. We are almost done our warm up. We're going to use some mid back and of course shoulder muscles as we do a slow back crawl here. Small circles is just fine as those shoulders get a bit warmer. If you feel like you have a bit more mobility to go in bigger circles, go right ahead. Good. 2 more here. And 1. And just like the other exercises, we're going to add a little bit of rotation. So we will stay on one side and rotate as you do some circles on one side, still to the rear. Shoulders are set in position, meaning that they're not creeping up by our ears. 2 more on this side. And 1. Good. And then you'll do the same on the other shoulder, arm circle to the back with a little bit of rotation if that feels good for you today. Good. 2 more. And 1. Excellent. I think I will finish off warm up with a hinged exercise. Depending on your level of core control, you will either be forward hinging with support, so hands on your knees, Or if you are not able to forward hinge, you'll be pressing into your chair back, activating through your core here. So either one of those things. If you are staying upright and pressing into your chair back, please make sure that your chair's wheels are locked and you're in a safe place to do that. Good. 2 more. And 1. All right, we are ready to pick up our paddles. Maybe you're going to grab a drink of water as you do that as well. Like I said, I'll try to cue a few different water breaks today, but feel free to take a water break anytime you need one. I don't have my timer going today. We're going to do this just with some different variations of paddle style. So we will switch between things. We're just going to go for a nice, even, nice steady tempo paddle to start as we get going here. If you're looking for a little bit of heart rate raising exercise today, you will start to pick up the pace as we get a little warmer here. Or you might decide, especially because of the heat, that you keep it at a little bit of a lower rate and work more on muscle control and posture. So those are both options. So moving faster or slower than I am as we get going is just fine. Let's check in with posture first as we're moving at a bit of a slower pace here. So that check-in that we did near the beginning where the crown of our head was closer to the ceiling, we want to maintain that feeling here as we start to paddle. And if the crown of my head is closer to the ceiling, I'm likely using more core muscles to support as well. Speaking of core, I will say also that depending on your injury or condition, if you are able to move slightly forward on your chair away from back support, and that's a comfortable position for you, we are challenging our core a little bit more in that position. So that's an option to consider. Of course, staying back with full support if that's where you need to be today. Good. We're going to start to pick up the pace a little bit, just still a nice even side to side kayak paddle. And then we're going to vary not only tempo, but also the length of our paddle strokes. Change things up a little bit that way as well. Coming up right away. Okay. So start to lengthen side to side your paddle strokes, like you're drawing a really long sideways figure 8. Maybe you're starting to shift just a little bit side to side, not so much through your hips, but again, with that bit of flex through your spine. Good. And then come back to a regular centered paddle, tempo of your choice. Good. Shoulders are staying set and in position. All right, check in again with your spinal positioning. So nice and long through the spine. As we start to do a little more forward reach. So now you're reaching for that next paddle stroke past your knees. Lots of options here. If you need to stay upright for this one, that is totally fine. If you want to start to hinge into the motion and get even more reach, go for it. Good. Looking good. Keep going. Good. We'll do 3 more like this. 2 and 1. Coming back to our regular paddle strokes. We're going to take a bit of a rest in just a moment here. I have 1 more to do before we do that, and then we'll circle back and do a very similar sequence again. Good. Speaking of circling, that's what we're going to do next, actually. So here we go. We're going to break from the paddling and use the paddle for something different here. So when you are ready, shoulders are set, core muscles ready to support. Give me a forward roll with your paddle. And then depending on your level of core control, maybe you're going to start kind of following in a bit of a seesaw positioning. So we're using more core here. Maybe you can slide away from your chair back and sit back into the move as well as coming forward. Shoulders are still staying low. Let's do 2 more in this direction and 1, and then we'll back things up. Go the other way. Good. For 3 and 2 and 1. Excellent. Just set the paddle on your lap for a moment. Maybe you'll take a moment to stretch things out. If you need to shake out any tension that might be building in your neck, go ahead and do that. You can take your chin down towards your chest and slowly shake your head side to side. Maybe chin to chest and then looking towards the ceiling, just stretching things out for a moment. If you are keen on getting some cardio today and you want to get right back to paddling, go right ahead. We will join you in just a moment. Just want to make sure everybody is trying to stay relaxed in amongst all this work that we're doing. So shake it out as you need to. When you are ready, give me a nice even tempo paddle. Good. So we're going to paddle just a little bit longer. We're going to go through a similar sequence as what we just did. So the different paddle exercises that we were just doing, you will see them come up 1 more time. And from there, we'll move on to some resistance work. So maybe you're going to start to pick up the pace again. Maybe you already have. Good. Shoulders are staying low. My shoulder muscles are definitely working, but I'm trying to keep my trapezius muscles, the side neck muscles, from working too hard. We want to keep those shoulders low for that reason. More power as well. Okay, start to slow it down and elongate that side to side paddle. So we're drawing a really long sideways figure 8. Maybe long enough that you are shifting side to side a bit with a side flex. Great, we'll do 2 more here. And 1. And then just come back to a nice centered paddle here. Tempo of your choice. If you want to be moving at a fairly high tempo right now, that's just fine, or take it at a nice steady tempo. Good. From here, we're going to move our reach farther forward. You can do this as last time with an upright stance, or you can start to hinge and really reach that paddle as far forward as you can with your hips still firmly on your seat. Checking in with your Posture, spine is still nice and long from the top of your head down to your tailbone, even as you're hinging forward. Great, we'll do 2 more here. And 1, and then coming back up tall again. We have 1 more in the sequence. And that was our forward and backward circles that we did. So just give me a regular paddle here just for another moment. Again, taking a rest anytime you need to, especially if it is warm in the room where you are today. Good. So we'll do 2 more at this tempo and 1. And then we'll start to set shoulders low as we do our forward roll. Staying upright if that's best for you, or starting to add some extra core work with a forward hinge and maybe a slight back recline, I guess, as well. Good. We'll do 2 more in this direction. 2 and 1, and then back up the bus. Let's go the other way. Good. For 4, 3, 2, and last one here. Excellent. We are all done with our dowel or paddle for today, so you can set that out of your way. Grab another drink if you need one, and let's use our band. So what I'll plan to do is do 2 different exercises with the band, and then we'll switch over to the weight and do the same 2 exercises more or less with the weight. So we should be able to kind of settle into a positioning that works good for you without having to switch things up too often. Depending on your grip strength, you're welcome to give a wrap to the band so that you have it tightly in place and you don't have to worry too much about that band slipping through your fingers. Shoulders are set. We're going to start with one hand at chest level as our anchor and the other one extended out front. And we're going to play around today a little bit with positioning of our hands. So sometimes we'll have palms facing in different directions. For now, palm is facing down, so the back of my hand is facing towards the ceiling. Anchor hand is on my chest, and I'm just opening up to the side. This exercise is meant to be a bit of a shoulder blade exercise. So rhomboid, muscles that sit in between shoulder blade and backbone, and also rear shoulder. So if we're keeping our arm fairly long here, shoulder is low, and then that arm is stopping at whatever a comfortable end range is, where really my shoulder blade can't go any further to squeeze towards center, and then you return. Good. You already know I'm not good at counting and talking at the same time, so we're going to do 2 more. And 1. Good. And then we're going to stay on this same side. So don't change anything aside from the fact that you might need to wrap the band one more time just to give you a little bit more tension, because our next exercise is a smaller one. We're going to do rotator cuff. So same side, elbow is now glued in at your side. Your stabilizer hand is just going to kind of hang out in a very similar position to start. And if I didn't already say, back of your hand is facing up, palm facing down for this one, as we go side to center here. Very small move. They're quite a small muscle group, so do give yourself some slack if you need to. If you need to give yourself more band, go right ahead. So this exercise, think about the fact that your elbow should not leave your side. It's really a small muscle group. small range. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And while we're here, I said sometimes we'll be changing hand position. So we're going to go palm facing up instead. I think you might want to wrap differently just to make your wrist still at a neutral position here. So palm facing up, the exact same exercise. Let's do 5 more, out and in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's switch it up, do the same on the other side, and we will move on from there. So we started with that long sweeping reach to the side. One hand was at the chest as our anchor point. The other one was extended out front, and we kept palm facing down for this one. Shoulder is set, nice and tall through your spine, through your torso, and then sweeping arm, that sweeping motion coming from shoulder blades squeezing towards your backbone, and then rear shoulder muscles helping to finish off this move. Good, trying to keep that tension away from your neck. So we're keeping our shoulder low, and we're keeping this movement at slightly lower than shoulder height. Okay, let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Bring it in. Change up how much band you have between your 2 hands as you need that. We're going to do our palm facing down rotator cuff move next. So change up your resistance level, giving yourself more or less band as you need to make this challenging and yet safe exercise. So elbow glued to your side as that forearm moves from center point off to the side. Good. We'll do 3 more like this, and then we'll change it up as we did on the other side. 2 and 1. Good. Just as we did on the other side, we are going to change our grip to be palm facing up for the last 5 of these. So let's go and do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. All right. We are going to switch it up to 1 weight. You will only need 1. I'm going to keep my band handy because I know I'm going to need it again in a little bit. So you can grab your weight, grab another drink if you need it. And we're going to get going with a very similar set of exercises. I'm going to try to count this time. So we're going to do a measured amount of these exercises. And we're going to change up just little bits of something. So we already know that with weight in hand, we don't have the same guided movement as we do necessarily with a physio band, but we have potentially more range of motion because the physio band kind of stops us at some point by the amount of resistance that it offers. So nice and tall in your seat, core muscles ready to support because this weight is coming out front. We're going to go palm facing up this time, and we're going a little bit lower than we did with the band. Do be kind of just very conscious of how this feels as you go side to center. I want this still to be a shoulder blade exercise, a rhomboid exercise. So you're going to pull your shoulder blade towards center as your arm comes out to the side and bring it back to its starting point. Oh man, I said I was going to count. Is that 4? I think that's 4. 5, 6, good, 7, and last one here, 8. Good, bring it in. We're going to keep that palm facing up and do 1 set of our rotator cuff exercise. Also 8, I will count. Elbow glued to your side. Cross body to start, palm facing up to the ceiling, out to a comfortable end range, and back in. Good. I'll start the count now. We'll go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Let's switch it up and do those 2 exercises on the other side. So shoulders set, core muscles ready to support as that weight comes out front. Palm is facing up, sweeping that weight to the side with my shoulder blade driving this move. So shoulder blade squeezing to center as my arm comes to the side. That's 2, 3, 4, 4 more. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it in. Palm is still going to face towards the ceiling as we do 8 of our rotator cuff exercise from this position. Starting cross body, elbow stays glued to your side as you come out to the side. Here's my count of 8 starting now. We got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right, we're going to keep weight in hand. We are switching back to the other side for probably just one more exercise. I might sneak a core exercise in too, but for now, we are going to press towards the ceiling, and we're going to do this with the weight and then the band. So with the weight in hand, we're going to press to the ceiling with our palm facing forward. So your palm facing towards the screen. This doesn't need to be to full extension overhead. It can be a small lift. It's still engaging through the mid-shoulder muscles, or it can be fully overhead. We are doing that 8 times at your extension of choice. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Let's switch that up and do the same exercise on the other side, knowing that side to side may be quite different. So do listen to that shoulder, protect it as needed with a lesser reach if that's best for you. Here we go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. We are done with the weight. You can set that down. We are going to use our physio band one more time. I'm going to grab a drink before we do that. Okay, so we're going to do more or less the same exercise, 8 of them, but we're going to make a small change as we did before. So do feel free to wrap the band if you like. One hand is coming cross body as your anchor point, so at chest level. The other hand this time is going palm facing in towards your body, towards your midline. So we are punching up to the ceiling, pressing up and returning down. Again, to your own level of extension, whatever feels best for you. Shoulder is set in position. Here we go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Bring it down, reset, get ready for the other side. One side comes cross body for your anchor point. The other one, palm facing in towards your midline as you extend to the ceiling and come back down. Here we go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. All right, we have enough time to sneak in a core exercise. I'm going to use my band. You could actually switch back to using your dowel or whatever you were using for paddling as well. I really just want something to space my hands apart. So I've split my band in half, so it's a little bit more rigid and the ends aren't flapping around at me. But it's not that critical. Really, I just want my hands to be evenly spaced here. So we're going to be moving in a semicircle with our arms around our body. Just do it in a nice controlled manner to start. We're going to pick up the pace in a moment here. And you can be doing this a little bit higher if you need to clear the arms of your chair. That's okay. We're staying somewhere near lap level though. So if you can keep it fairly low for now, that is good. From here, keeping it low, shoulders facing forward, we're going to start to pick up the pace. Different for everyone, but I want your core muscles to stabilize you enough that your shoulders do not move side to side. So we're kind of creating that momentum that our muscles are fighting against. A bit like when we do the paint shakers with our weight. Different move. Good. And then start to slow it down. And maybe you'll start to move this to a little bit more chest level. And then maybe you'll start to move it to more eye level. And then maybe you'll move it up overhead with a bit of a side flex. So you might side flex, bring it back up. Side flex, bring it back up. If you need to take your hands down for this one and do your side flex from a lower hand position, that's okay. A little more stability there. Good. We're going to do 2 more each way. And last one here. All right. And then we are bringing that band down. We are done with that for today, and it is time to stretch. Great. So let's start with wide arms coming around to give yourself a low hug. So shoulders are low, elbows are going to stay low. And just take a moment to take some big breaths in and out, where your breath in adds a little more space to the area between your 2 backbones. So breath in and breath out. Good. We'll do 2 more like that. I hope nothing has interrupted what you can hear of me. Apparently I'm getting a phone call that I can't ignore, or I am ignoring, but there we go. It went away. Hopefully we're still good here. You guys can still hear me, right? Oh, good, good. Last one, because I can't see me anymore and I don't know why. That's okay. I'm still here. Good. Come wide, arms come wide. Reset, other arm on top if that's available to you. Feels a little bit strange. Good. This time we're going to actively keep our shoulders low, but pull our elbows forward. So we're adding a little bit more space for a stretch between our 2 shoulder blades. And maybe you'll add a little bit of a hinge too, if that's available to you. Good. Last one, last breath in and out like that. And you can reset. All right. We are going to do a little bit of a spinal twist and add some breathing here as well. So you're going to take both your hands to one side of your lap. Gentle pressure with those fingertips to help with rotation, just to a spot that feels nice for a few breaths in and out. Checking in again with your spine to see if you're still nice and long, right from the top of your head down to your tailbone. Shoulders are away from your ears. And then you'll rotate back to center. We're going to do that same side one more time. So gentle pressure, rotation again to whatever is a comfortable end spot for you. And then we're going to do a little bit of a shoulder check. So looking over that same side shoulder, maybe reaching with the same side arm as well, getting a little bit of front shoulder and chest stretch. Good. Bring that back to center. Let's do the same on the other side. So nice and even through your seat. Hands come to your outer thigh. Gentle pressure for rotation. Checking in to make sure you're still nice and long through your spine. Taking some nice even breaths in and out here. And returning to center. Good. Let's do that one again on this side as well. Gentle pressure as you rotate to a comfortable end point. Looking over your shoulder, so shoulder check, and then that option of reach towards that side that you're rotating to. Excellent. Come on back to center. All right, we're going to slide the backs of our hands into our imaginary back pockets here and do a little bit of stretch through shoulders and chest. If that's not comfortable for you, hands on your hips is also fine. Elbows are going to pull back. So if you are able to slide forward on your chair to give yourself a little more space, this would be a good time to do that. If you need to stay back on your chair back, that is totally fine. Just working within whatever works for you. Taking some nice even breaths in and out here. Again, appreciating the fact that we have given ourselves lots of space for chest expansion here. So nice even breaths in and out. Good. You can just kind of relax those elbows to your side and stay in this position if you like. If you need to do a reset, that's fine. This time as our elbows pull back, we're going to do a little bit of a neck stretch. So you're going to look down towards one side of your lap, one hip, and hang out here for a few breaths in and out. And then your gaze comes back to center, or chin drops towards your chest and looks to the opposite hip. Excellent. Come back and return your gaze to neutral. You can unwind those arms and slide back on your chair for some back support if you were forward. Let's release through the forearms a little bit, and we'll do a little more neck stretching while we're here. So one arm extends forward, shoulders low, elbow is more or less straight, and we'll put a little gentle pressure through the back of our hand, getting a stretch through our forearm. And we're going to drop our ear to the opposite shoulder away from that stretch. You can focus on your breathing a little bit here. So maybe almost feeling like every breath in adds a little bit of extra space to those typically tight neck muscles. So sending a little more oxygen their way. Good, and then we'll reset our head to neutral. Shake out that hand. Let's do the same stretch on the other side. So arm extends, fingertips down towards the ground, gentle pressure through the back of our hand, just getting a stretch up our front forearm. Shoulder is low, and then ear drops away towards the opposite shoulder. Great, ease your head back to neutral, and you can let go of that stretch through your forearm. We'll stretch the backside of our forearms, and then we'll finish with a breathing exercise. So you can extend one side fingertips towards the ceiling now, gentle pressure through the palm of your hand with the straight elbow to get a little bit of stretch through the inner forearm. Good, shoulder is still low. We've stretched out those neck muscles already. We want them to stay as relaxed as possible. Good, you can release this stretch. Just give me a few nice slow wrist circles on this side before you switch to the other side. And back the other direction. Excellent. Let's do the same on the other side. Arm is extended, shoulder is low, fingertips towards the ceiling. Gentle pressure on the palm of your hand. I'm glad that I can see you guys doing the same exercise as me, because I can't see myself still. So thank goodness I know that you can still see me. I'm scared to touch anything in case I end the meeting instead. All right. From here, you can release and give me a few wrist circles on this side. And back the other direction. Great. Okay, so we're back on our seat in a comfortable seat. You can bring your eyes to close just for a moment. We'll finish off class just going back to our body scan as we did at the beginning. So you can kind of do a little bit of a check-in and check in on your temperature regulation, how you feel right now. Hopefully you're not feeling too overheated. Make a note to drink some more water when we're finished class today. And then just do a bit of a body scan and see how you feel energy-wise after class. If there's any modifications that you might need to make next time, if something feels maybe a little sore or pinchy after some of the exercises that we've done, but hopefully everything's feeling as good, if not better, than when we began. And we will focus on that extension through our spine as we take a few more breaths in with eyes closed, and keeping that extension with a nice even exhale. Two more like that. Breath in, extending through the spine. Breath out, holding that extension as you exhale. And one more here. Oh, hey, look, I'm back. I can see myself again. That's exciting. Okay. And we will finish class as we always do with 3 big breaths in, and I will stay around for a few minutes in case you want to chat. So starting down low, big breath in, reaching for the ceiling, and a breath out to release. 2 more. And last one here. Excellent. Thanks for joining me today. Stay cool and hydrated.
Thank you. That was great. I was kayaking in real life a couple days ago, and I sure felt it in my shoulders. But
oh yes,
this is great.
It's a good shoulder workout, isn't it? It's nice to be out there on the water.
I'm gonna try the band around my knees to do the legs thing we showed a couple weeks ago, and then a block between the knees, pushing in. Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay, I'll see you next week. Oh, your next week is Megan, right?
Yes, next week is Megan. Bye, Myrna and Puppy.
Enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.